Crossing fingers.
It looks good.
Yay. All
Yeah.
right. We did it. Yay. We're here. Happy Thursday. Happy rainy Thursday, and at least in Los Angeles. So welcome everybody to Mastering Holiday Marketing Before the Rush. Well, the title is, you'll see in the presentation because given the environment we're in right now and the economy and everything going on, I always check the holiday shopping trends, and usually July, August are pretty good with the shopping trends information, but it was literally up to the day, up to the minute, all these reports, the Deloitte and all the big financial companies out there who do all of the holiday trends and reports were doing them like literally up to today. So I was kind of watching to see what they were talking about. So I might have missed the rush already. Anyways, before we go into that, a little bit about me. Some of you in the room may know me already from previous classes, and let me just make sure. Now that I had everything shut down on me, reopen my chat and Q&A. There we go. And so I have been in the online space for a million years, as you can see here. I worked for a gourmet gift basket company. Right now, you would not talk to me for like the next 3 months. And Q4, it was all about Q4 and holiday gift giving. That was my first dip into e-commerce way back then. I took their catalog and traditional retail store business and brought it online back then and turned into $1 million plus part of their business online. But in this year's the 21st year I've been in the wine industry. So I do work with wineries, but I do work with all types of businesses, as you can see here, business to business, business to consumer, a little business to government. I do teach for organizations all across the country, including PACE, one of the LA's business source centers and women's business centers, SCORE, SBDCs, chambers, trade groups. So you've probably seen me somewhere around there. Oh, thank you, somebody, Veronica, for sharing my virtual card. So that's me. And also, I do always advise and recommend that you serve your local business community if you have the opportunity. We have a million opportunities here in LA. I serve on my local neighborhood Venice Chamber of Commerce board, as well as the National Association of Women Business Owners board here in LA, and serve as a chair on a committee for BizFed as well. So take part in your business community, serve on a board, get in a committee, ambassador. It helps you and it helps your business community. So there's my pitch to do that. And excuse me, and my voice a little sound like a little moose and a cow. I just in the throes of getting over a cold, so excuse my hoarseness here today. There we go. So let's talk about holiday shopping, which is why we are here already. So again, as I mentioned, I did pull some forecasts and trends and reports as much as I could up to the minute. And I kept getting conflicting information. Some said, hey, we're going to slow by, have 5% less growth compared to last year for holiday shopping sales. And then others say we're going to be about 5% above. So somewhere in there, it's going to be, let's just break it down the middle and be fairly, steady. Not too much loss, not too much gain, but hopefully we'll stay just as good as we did last year. So it is slower sales growth predicted, definitely because of the economic uncertainty. We have inflation, we have tariffs going on. So that's people are being, of course, very cautious. I've seen this kind of all year in my world, but of course, as we go to our busiest, some of you might have the busiest part of the year for you and your business. So consumers, we always are looking for discounts, but we will be on the hunt for deeper discounts out there. So higher income households versus lower, projected to drive increased spending. I think I have something by generationally, the spending will be a little different. E-commerce is while expected to grow, pace of online sales is anticipated to slow down. I'll show you some different trends here. What consumers will be doing. So gift cards are going to be popular, be the top plan to purchase for consumers because it gives that flexibility for gifting, seeking just deeper discounts, as I already mentioned. And again, high income consumers are going to lead the way, which kind of makes sense. And then I just kind of tossed that into the bottom there. Zillennials will be spending the least there, less than, see if I can say this right. I have scrambled eggs, sick brain here going on a little bit. So they're going to be spending 23% less than last year. So they'll be spending the least overall. So I want to say it. Gen X boomers and above will be spending a little bit more over there. And that kind of makes sense. The millennials are the, say, 18 to 28 approximately. So, their income level is going to be different overall compared to Gen X and boomers. And then, so what does this shopper timeline look like? So early shopping is what I was alluded to about, we're going to beat the holiday rush. people are already starting to shop. You're going to see the big major retailers already. I know I keep getting the Amazon Prime Day deals coming up in early October. So we're going to see that big push. So the Cyber 5, they call it, the Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday, right? Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. I usually include Giving Tuesday in that as well, but that's a little bit different. So it's still relevant, but growth expected across all categories there. Let's see what else we have here. So where do you plan to do your shopping for the holiday season? Is a little survey that was done from Black Friday to the winter. So mostly online. It says a mix online and in store. So we're really seeing that we're coming out of kind of the COVID environment where everybody had to shop online and then people are going back into the store. But it looks like it's going to be a good mix of both. People are going out and hunting down bargains online and in person. That's good to see. In store only. Interesting. People aren't shopping online. Might be the older folks. So again, as I mentioned, Gen Z, we talked about it's going to be a little bit less growth this year, 23% less spending, I should say. So here, U.S. consumers' likelihood of purchasing holiday gifts directly through social media by generation. So of course, most of the social media across the board is say 35 and below. So the youngest millennials down to the zillennials are most of the social media. So this number totally makes sense that we see the majority of it in the millennials and zillennial categories here. The Gen X and above, baby boomers, etc. Usually we're less on social media. So we buy online, but we're not buying via social. Mainly because like with TikTok, as you can see here, 70% of Gen Z typically discovers products there, so they expect to have a lot of shopping growth there as well, and that's the kind of 35 and below as well. So that it trends just with your normal average users or usage of social media. And then what makes you more likely to shop directly on a brand's website instead of through a marketplace or social platform, right? So I know some businesses compete, right? They're with maybe they're even on Amazon, but say compete with the big box or the Amazons out there. And what would make them go to the website versus going to one of those platforms, right? So 42%, I get better or more accurate product information, trust the product quality more, trust the seller and the return policies. So these are things that if you are a competitor of these big box and Amazons out there, what can you do to make sure that you do have a better experience out there? Of course depending on how you feel about Amazon or not, we all are used to like, hey, I can get it like in 3 hours from now, right? Some holiday shoppers shop really early. Some of us, wait until the last minute. So that's always important to do give what the consumers want, make it easy for them to shop with you. And then what else do we have here? So Black Friday, BFCM, Black Friday, Cyber Monday continue to represent the biggest shopping spike of the season. So 88% of shoppers globally plan to participate in Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So in Cyber Monday, it's kind of interesting now because Black Friday or Cyber Monday was kind of the counterpart of Black Friday, because Black Friday when it started it was traditional in-person shopping, right? And now it's like wherever Black Friday is everywhere. Now it's like not even Black Friday, it's Black Month, Black Year, it's like Black Friday sales happen like practically November 1st. So people will plan to spend, so make sure I'll show you some I think some email examples of Black Friday and social media, actually social media, of using those during those 4 or 5 days out there that are coming up in November. And then so search discovery and the first click. Many shoppers begin at the search bar. So this year's report shows 34% of consumers start their holiday shopping on a search engine or AI assistant. So AI is definitely going to be playing a part in our shopping this year. It's called, I was telling somebody that search engine optimization, SEO. We also now have GEO, generative optimization, right? Engine optimization. Generative engine is what you see at the top of like Google, right? Where we put in a question and you'll have your AI answers at the top there. So that's called GEO. Another 34% go directly to a marketplace or retailer website. Only 7% begin on social media because it's not really one of the top places we go first. for that reason. We go there to connect with friends and family and to be entertained, right? Not necessarily to shop first, right? And then just 2% initiate their search from online ads, right? So people are being more focused on their shopping and what they're looking for. Some key holidays, you'll get the slides. I just wanted to share, if you didn't have all the dates down, that might be key, from Veterans Day on, Thanksgiving, and then the Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever you're going to celebrate up to New Year's. So you have those dates there. So social media. So we're going to talk about multi-channel approach, right? So some of you may be on social and email and even text marketing, if you're doing text SMS or text marketing. And this presentation, I didn't even show. I'm doing this in conjunction with Constant Contact. And if you're familiar with Constant Contact, obviously one of the email platforms that are out there, and they do offer all of those on there now. It's more than just email. So of course, we're going to talk about each of the things that you could use Constant Contact for out there. So this one, I'm not as software as agnostic as usual, since this is a co-presentation. I am an authorized local expert with Constant Contact. So the series that we've been doing with PACE have all been Constant Contact related. So social media, we'll start with that and move on to email and texting, right? So definitely going to play a large role. Different things that you can do, different goals that you're going to have, obviously driving awareness, growing contacts. So definitely have a plan in place. And I'm going to share at the end of this presentation my content calendar, and you all can be able to download it as well. If you haven't already gotten it for the year, at least you'll be able to use it for OND. My Google Sheets content calendar. I'm working on 2026 right now. I usually release it in October, so you can start planning your next year early. So if you're on my email list, you'll get the latest 2026 coming up in a few weeks. But definitely different things you can do to grow driving awareness, right? So you can, share, maybe do enter to win type things. That'd be growing your contact list, do contests, enter for a chance to win. Sorry, that's didn't change that from Constant Contacts information. Do downloadable content, share recipes if you're, holiday things. And anything you can do to build your list and grow your contacts, and it's holiday related as well. Drive, definitely build brand awareness. It doesn't really change. When I'm asked to teach these holiday marketing ones, and like, what do we do different? Right? You're really not doing anything different except putting, silver bells and Christmas ornaments on your post, right? Everything, all the rules really stay the same. You still need to be consistent with your marketing, still need to be consistent with your social media, ramping up. There's definitely more going on this time of year. Some people like fall asleep the rest of the year and then they wake up fourth quarter. Oops, sorry about that. My screen's going backwards there. So you want to definitely be consistent across the board all year round, but this time of year, you definitely want to ramp up more, right? So I'm seeing some questions in here. Yeah, let's see, in-home improvement service. Someone is addressing in-home improvement services. I could touch on that a little bit. It could be, yeah, it's interesting, like a fourth quarter thing if people are doing that this time of year as well. Let's see, what if small business and not familiar with social media and just need 5 to 10 customers per week, what best to do to make it easy on ourselves when we have other obligations and we spend too much time or energy on marketing? Um, Now, so yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna stop there and answer that question because it sounds like, oh, it's only 5 to 10 customers. How are you gonna get those 5 to 10 customers? Right. So there's not like, well, I'll do a tiny bit of marketing and it'll just enough to get the 5 to 10. I mean, anonymous, I don't know what you do. I don't know what your market is or your industry is, and what you're doing now for it, but this will be kind of a soapbox for everybody. You all year round, whether you need 5 to 10 customers a week or hundreds of customers a week, like you said, some repeat. You do need consistent marketing. You should be spending time on marketing, and some of you might be lucky enough to like, we have so much business, we don't have to do any marketing. And I guess you wouldn't be here if that was the case, right? So there's not like just a little squeeze here, and that will be enough to get those 5 to 10. I'd have to know more, but I would say just in general for everybody, it's important to be, consistent on social media, post, not disappearing, at certain times of the year, like, okay, we're a little slower now, so we won't do anything. I have a client that their business is holiday outdoor decor. They do big outdoor commercial displays. I started working with them in February, and I was in Christmas tree and twinkly light mode for the past, 6 months or so. Now they're in okay, we got to build them and put them out there on display on main streets and stadiums and all the places that they do these giant, holiday displays out there. So they're out there marketing all year round, and of course they're getting big customers. They're not, putting up likes on my house here. So it's important to be consistent all year round. If you can't do it yourself, I mean, hire somebody to do it for you, to do it, to make sure you have that churn, because I don't know about you, like how many prospects does it take for you to get to that 5 to 10 actual paying customers? Do you have only 5 or 10 people contact you and 100% of them convert? That would be great, right? So yeah, I mean, just to add to that, just it's always important. Marketing is what's going to bring business, right? So you need marketing. You need to spend the money on marketing to make money. And consistent marketing is going to keep that consistent pot of customers coming in. So there's some things you can do on autopilot, so to speak, make it easy, tools you can use, templates, things like that. So, I'll show you the content calendar if you wanted to, catch up with me on a strategy session. We can talk further on that. But good point, good question. Um, Facebook says used to penalize you if you offered an enter to win contest and had more than 10,000 likes. You have to enter for a chance to win. I know I had it wrong on mine. Never type in enter to win. If you have an enter to win contest, everybody wins because all I had to do was to enter to win. So enter for a chance. You just have to be very careful with contests on Facebook and any of the platforms on how you do it, right? They're okay with entering for a chance to win something, but not like in order for them to win, they have to follow you on Facebook, follow your neighbor, like a post, give some blood or whatever, whatever. Can't do that. You can't ask for that type of stuff for them to engage with you, but just entering for a chance to win and not requiring them to do anything. Like they obviously sign up for it, but not requiring them to do any of the other stuff that I just mentioned. So just be mindful because they want to make sure that everything is legit, too. And contests, you have to speak, I mentioned it and enter for a chance to win contests. You have to be very just careful with that because a lot of times they're just contest trolls out there. Some people they work great for, others, it just depends on what you're giving away. Out there is, just, be mindful of that. Some people are just you might build a list and it might be not anybody who's interested in what you're actually selling. So good questions. Okay, so let me continue on. So social media, so promote, obviously you want to have a good mix of, brand awareness, educational, obviously promotional, which is, here's my product, here's my service, and then say customer advocacy, sharing stories, but maybe polls and voting, user generated contests, reviews, testimonials, anything like that to share the customer story. But this time of year, right, we're all about making the sale. So here's some Black Friday. When I had a lot of winery clients, we would do Black Friday specials. I have my restaurant client was more about, hey, come in on Black Friday in between shopping and come have a meal. Some ideas here. Small Business Saturday. Now you can there's not really one for Black Friday per se, but Small Business Saturday, this logo, they have it every year. This one is just the plain one without a date on it. They do some that have the date. So you can pull in that logo and use it for your promotions out there if you want to use that. So that's that Saturday after Thanksgiving. And here's just some ideas of different things you can do using the logo. And then Cyber Monday, again, there's no really a logo for it, only the Small Business Saturday is branded as is Giving Tuesday. So you can do obviously promotions on here, and I brought it in here to, tied in a restaurant to Cyber Monday. It's like too busy Cyber Monday shopping to cook or go out, use a delivery service and have it delivered to you. Right? So some ideas here. And then Giving Tuesday, that is a brand of the Giving Tuesday logo. So then you can use it on your promotions to it. And it's basically you are doing a promotion with giving back. So if you have a cause that you are behind and you want to promote it and give proportion of the proceeds of sales that day, or hey, for every dollar spent, we're going to give back 50 cents or whatever it is that you want to do. That's the purpose of Giving Tuesday. You can tie it into shopping as well, to encourage people. You can mix up, obviously, from Thanksgiving, Black Friday, small business, Cyber Monday. There's a lot of different things. You can have them all the same. Sometimes my winery clients that I worked with, we would just continue the same promotion and just brand it differently. Other times, obviously, Giving Tuesday would be different. But let's say the Cyber Monday would be the same as the Black Friday. You didn't have to keep doing different promotions. For you, figure out, as your business owner, figure out what works. If you ran something Black Friday and you want to try something different, see if it changes the game on Cyber Monday, you can do that as well. Oh yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you. So, hi Karen. Yeah. The score Long Beach, I think, class, right? Towards. Okay. And here's some email. This is some social media, but also some emails. So you can do countdowns to Cyber Monday or any of them really. Black Friday. I see that, probably going to see it starting November 1st, the countdown to Black Friday. Used to be Black Friday was just Black Friday. Now it's, like I said, it seems like every day of the month. So some different things. Announced Small Business Saturday deal. Free shipping, obviously, is always very popular. Gift guides. I said, I don't know everybody's business in here, but if that makes sense to do a gift guide. And even if you don't have all of the products, maybe it could be related or something that isn't necessarily competition or pulling away from you. Kind of be useful for people. All right. Make sure if you're shipping things for the holiday, make sure and especially if you're competing against something like Amazon, or it's like magazine, you can literally get something in a few hours, it seems like now. Make sure that you have clear on your website before you get into the shopping cart. I hate going into the shopping cart to figure out what the shopping, the delivery is. On Amazon, they have it right there. You can get it by Tuesday. You can get it in 3 hours. You can get it overnight. So make sure it's very clear what you're shipping, especially as you get closer to the holiday or, Christmas. Especially you want to get it there before the 25th. Give them that 3-day ground, 2-day overnight delivery. When I worked at the gift basket company, that was huge. We had to know exactly when, the very last day is for a 3-day or a 2-day or an overnight. Christmas is a little bit more forgiving, especially with corporate giving. Most people do want to have it received before Christmas, but when we did a ton of corporate gifting with that company, big companies doing big orders, and generally, as long as it's somewhere in the season where there's no forgiveness, you can't be late or early for Mother's Day, you can't be late or early for Valentine's Day. Other than that, Christmas, you can kind of be in that time period. I would say, hey, if someone was sending me a gift basket, if I don't get it by the 25th, if I get it by December 29th, I'm still going to enjoy it, right? It's amazing how people get upset about a late Christmas gift. So again, last minute deals, of course, I use this example if you've attended my other classes, like, email marketing. I think as I talk about, I equate people's behaviors based on their Christmas shopping habits, beyond, what's going on and people are shopping early because of the economy. I always say there's the people who are the Christmas shoppers in July, right? They get everything done early. They don't worry about it in the fourth quarter. And then you have the middle, the ones in the middle who Christmas they wait until Black Friday, Thanksgiving. This still gives them a month to shop. And then there are those of us that are like, oh, it's December 24th. I still have plenty of time to shop, right? So given we have different human behaviors, and use those on, perfect example, use those for, in your email marketing. Make sure that if you're running promotions, doing events, don't just do it once. Plan for the people who are the early birds, plan for those pelotons in the middle who are like Cyber Monday, Black Friday shopping time, and then those of us who are like, I have plenty of time at the last minute. So e-gift cards, if you're shopping, make sure if you have the ability to do those, set that up, that you're taking advantage of that, if it makes sense for your business, of course. And then some different email marketing ideas, a few others that I already showed you. Obviously, gift guides, holiday themed tips and tricks. Of course, your holiday hours updates, gift ideas, last minute reminders, New Year's look ahead. Obviously, if you're doing any holiday event invites, promoting, obviously, maybe a holiday preview sale. So that I guess could be now, if that makes sense. Given Tuesday and small business and all those I already mentioned. Shipping offers, if they make sense, people will look at shipping more so than saying giving a 10% discount. We in the wine industry, as many years ago, we crunched the numbers and we go, well, what if we give 10% versus what if we give free shipping? And the number actually, even with heavy wine, we were only really giving 8% away for shipping versus 10%. But people think shipping's more, they don't want to spend money on shipping. It's like, here, spend money on gas to go drive your car somewhere, right? So it's perceived as a higher value, even if it's not really, you have to crunch your own numbers on that to see if that makes sense. But free shipping or a reduced shipping or whatever is always, obviously, with Amazon, you can get free shipping as a Prime member. So if that's something that works for you as far as shipping, that's or what your business is, definitely look at that as opposed to just doing like a 10% discount or whatever discount level you're doing. Early bird pricing might make sense. Gift packages. So putting together simple gift packages, especially I know with the gift basket business, people, a lot of the wineries, I say encourage them to put, a gift package together. I mentioned gift certificates, gift cards, of course. So the different things that you can do. And subject lines. Before I go into that, let me see questions here. Let's see. I just start using Klaviyo for my Shopify. Are you able to help me for online marketing with Klaviyo? Yes, I've used Klaviyo in the past. So if you wanted to connect with me after, you can. Best way to get repeat clients in a consult type business. Um, well, make sure that you keep them happy, right? Whatever it is that you're offering them, that you keep them happy to get repeat. I don't know, just off the top, as far as repeat clients is, some of us might be in the gain and retain. Some of them are just like, hey, one time someone mentioned, yeah, there just might be some repeat, but mostly they're one-time clients. I would say that would be it, making sure that whatever you're offering them is a value and to keep them, churning in your business. That's kind of general answer for now, but if you want, we can talk further on that. All right. Okay. Let's see. My stepdad used to send Thanksgiving cards to his clients as Christmas Hanukkah cards. That's a good way. Yeah. Even New Year's, it might seem like after the holidays and you forgot all about them, but it's like, who wouldn't be surprised by getting a New Year's card, or thank you. Anytime in that period, I think sending a card. It seems like even, even personal Christmas cards. I know my father always would send out Christmas cards to his friends and family and stuff. And it seems like now we hardly know anybody's addresses. We just go online and wish them a happy birthday instead of sending a card. But whatever works, yeah, it's do something Thanksgiving, especially with clients, thanking them, giving thanks for having them as a client. That's another way to keep them as clients, right? Acknowledge them, right? Yeah, any ideas for getting more addiction treatment counseling patients? That's an interesting one. Hold that thought right there. Okay, so let me go on your subject lines. Very important. And I don't know, it looks like, I think when I translated the slides from Canva over to PowerPoint, some of the uh, formatting changed a little bit. I didn't catch that. So sorry, some of these are a little funky here. I'll fix the slide before I send the actual slides to Pace. So promotional slides or subject lines, of course, you have seconds, milliseconds to capture their attention in that busy inbox. So a lot of different subject lines you can do. These are just some examples. Like that, it's now or never, save now, it's your business name, good time, great cheer, great offers, stress-free holiday shopping is possible. There's no place like your product. I like that. Keep my holiday magic alive. I actually, with Constant Contact, I should tell my Constant Contact people this. I had a winery client. They sold only Cabernet, a business called Age Cabernet Trust. And this is going back, oh my gosh, I remember now, 2009, 2010, somewhere in that. And I actually, they picked my subject line as one of the one of their top 10 subject lines out of all their clients. And it was something like, take home a cab for dinner or something to do with like taking a cab and taking the dinner. But I was Constant Contact, picked that one out and liked it. So they definitely have very short attention span and something quick. Emojis, if you've attended my email marketing class, 50% of people open email based on having an emoji. So you can try some with and some without. Don't do too many, just one. Oh, sorry, they're all misaligned here. They should be after, before a subject line here. So use those as well. Try different things out with the subject lines. And if you're doing your own, definitely short and sweet, around 40 characters. Anything spammy, you have to be careful. Even with the, here it says stress-free holiday shipping, free shipping. Um, you have to be careful with free, right, in the subject line, because that is a spammy keyword. It could wind up going into, into spam folders. So it could be shipping included, something like that might work. Definitely check for grammatical errors, too much capitalization, things like that will could trigger spam rules as well. Let's see here. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. So subject line and pre-header text, make sure you have both of those on there. And then asking a question sometimes works, piques their interest. And some of these have, I think there was one that was a question. Right, none of these do. Oh, yeah. Have you seen our holiday gift ideas? Sorry, it's a little funky there. So definitely try different things. Create a sense of urgency, right? Especially as we get closer to the holidays, last minute, exclusive offer, going to end soon, early bird special, and definitely A/B tests, which means basically you can either you can split your list if your email platform has it and you're paying for it. You can split your list in two and try different subject lines, or you can just do one email with one subject line, then change it up the next time. But don't just plan on sending that one email once. So if you're going to repeat it, maybe a few days later, maybe change up the subject line. Maybe add an emoji this time if you didn't the first time. So definitely very important to have catchy subject lines, because if they don't get past that, they might not open the email, right? It's just important. And then anybody here texting now? Anybody raise your hand or say yes in chat? Anybody do text marketing? Anybody? Hello? No? No text marketers at all? Oh, got one. Okay. And do you use it during the holidays? And is it Marif? I'm curious to know. And make sure you have, if you're texting or typing in chat, make sure you have to everyone. Sometimes it defaults to just hosts and panelists. Paste text to clients for low tech clients. Yeah. So it works. In my, I should share that slide in this class too. So my email marketing class I teach, I say the best ROI of any marketing tool out there is email marketing. So in this, the statistics to share it is, for every $1 spent on email marketing, there's an average of a $40 return on investment for email. Social media is about 18 to 20. Text marketing about $10 to $11 in comparison. So nothing comes as close to email marketing. So important to build your list. And if you have a list, use it this time of year. I mean, all year, but most important this time of year. It's going to drive the most sales for you. Should. And don't worry, any size list. Any doesn't, 5 people, 500, 5,000, make sure you're sending out to people who signed up for your list. So if you are using text marketing, you can definitely do brand awareness, drive brand awareness, of course, with it. Maybe your store will be closed, give your store hours. Here's all, or I've got the milk and cookies for Santa. So you can try different things with text. And again, not making sure, I don't think there's on this slide about not doing too much. That just went backwards on its own. I wasn't even touching it. Grow customer loyalty. So thanks for your purchase. Leave us a review. Sorry, slides are off. Enter to win. Again, this is wrong. These are not mine. I would say enter for a chance to win on there. Promote products, of course. You'll log cake or orders open up today. So definitely shorter sense of urgency. I don't know if who was using it, Marie. I don't know if I have that name right. It says texting takes lots of time. It's pretty quick, and you can do it via Constant Contact. They have a text tool, SMS text tool on there. I did one for my restaurant client a couple months ago. Their restaurant system has a texting thing. We usually do email and social media, but I added a text for an event, and it was pretty easy to set up. So I don't know, Karen, what you were using on that, but get the right SMS app or tools. Again, Constant Contact has that feature as well. So use it sparingly compared to email, because it is more invasive. right? I mean, I have my phone, except for right now, when I have it on Do Not Disturb while I'm teaching, it's on 24/7. So I don't want to hear ding, 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 ding all day where my emails can pile up. Right. But we tend to unsubscribe faster from text marketing than we do from email. And it does have a better ROI, as I already mentioned. But so you do want to be very sparing about how much you're sending out. And then here are some best practices here, and they'll get these slides. It says always include your company name in your text. Do you do that? Whoever's using it, include your company name in there. Exclusive discounts and offers are perfect. Shorten URLs, create better text. I even see text now with pictures. So that's, changed too, where you can actually see pictures. Usually it's some big brands, and maybe I've abandoned cart. And I've seen, I forgot which brand it was, a shoe company, where I decided I got all the way up to the cart. I'd purchased them before, so I was already logged in, and I just changed my mind. And they're just like, I maybe don't need these shoes. And I immediately got the abandoned cart emails and another abandoned cart email, and I started getting abandoned cart texts, a couple of those, and then they finally did give up. And with the picture of the item that I abandoned in the cart as well. So it's definitely changing. Doesn't usually work for me though with tags. Usually if I abandon and I get the email to remind me to go back to the cart. So recipients must be able to opt out, so they should be able to stop, right? Text message can be concise and relevant, of course. Even during the holidays, don't overwhelm them, as I already mentioned. You can use emojis again, but sparingly, just like in the subject line. Clear call to action, buy now, schedule an appointment, join us, whatever it's going to be. Combine it with your other channels. So maybe you have, make sure that I'll talk about the content calendar. I didn't include text marketing on there, but maybe I'll include that on the 2026. Definitely personalize if you have their information. And it says marketing text can only be sent between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m., local to the recipient. It's definitely very personal, right? The texting conversational. So do you know the click rate for text? Good question. I don't know what the click rate is. I mean, for email marketing, is about 1 to 3% on average click-through rate. For text, I'll find out. I'll find out what that is and see what the average click-through rate is. But again, the ROI on it, for every $1 spent, it's about a $10, $11 return on investment compared to the 40 for email marketing. I know that doesn't give the click-through rates, but I'll see if I can find that out for you. And then so calendar, right? So I know some of you might have my content calendar. How are you all planning out, or have you started planning out? I always say holiday should be wrapped up by the end of August. So we're kind of not beating the holiday rush. So if you haven't started yet and you're going to finish this class, I'm probably going to finish early after this part. So if you haven't done it yet, I would jump on it today, right? And plan out your calendar. So tell me in chat, what are you using? Who has already planned out their fourth quarter? Or is you're here because you haven't started planning out? Has anybody started planning their fourth quarter, their marketing, their emails, social media, etc.? Just share and chat if you have. So this content calendar I'm going to share. I'm going to show you how to use it. So Maria says she's been planning. Great. And say not yet. So generally, like I said, with the gift basket company I worked with, millennial ago, it feels like we always were ahead, right? Because they were a cataloger. So you always had to print ahead. You had to order baskets from China, to come in 100,000 plus of them coming in. So you always had to plan ahead. So I was always thrown off. Like Christmas was done by August, Valentine's Day was planned by November, Mother's Day planned by Valentine's Day. And when the actual holiday came up, I never knew, like, oh yeah, it's Mother's Day now. I planned that 3 months ago. So you should be looking at, so for next year, you'll know by end of August, you should have fourth quarter planned out if it's important for your business to do fourth quarter sales. Planning everything out, syncing it up. Make sure it says not for this quarter, plan for next year's calendar. So you're gonna be ready, Jeanette. Perfect. So the content calendar, I find this is the first step to help take away that overwhelm. We have to do all our social media posts, we have to do email, we have to do blogs, text marketing as well added to it. all these different things. Maybe there's offline promotions that you do as well for your business. So, and as I mentioned, your plan ahead should be by the end of August. So we're only a few weeks behind right now. Definitely use whatever calendar tool. You're going to get my Google Sheets calendar. You'll be able to download it or link to it. I'd say don't download it as an Excel file. But use whatever works for you. There's other content calendar apps and tools out there. I just use the Google Sheets document to keep it easy for everybody. Use whatever works for you, but use a calendar to sync things up. You'll find if you start working ahead, I'll explain how my process goes for me and my done for you clients is we work a month ahead. So where are we now? We're mid-September. So we already are working on October content for our clients. So by the 1st of September, we already are figuring out what we're doing for the upcoming October. And we start creating the content by the middle of the month, which is right now. Our clients get their content calendar with all of the content on there. I'm going to show you the page that they would see, and they can look at it, review it, approve it, or say edit, make changes. So we give them that, 2 weeks on the back end to ask for edits. We re-upload it to them, and then they can approve it. And at the end of the month, we schedule everything out using a scheduling tool, and then we're ready for the next month. So we're not scrambling like today. What is today? September, I don't even know what the date is. September 18th. Thank you. So I don't even know what we're posting because we already posted it 18 days ago. I don't have to worry and go, oh no, what do I post? I haven't posted for a week. Take away that overwhelm, work a few weeks ahead, get to that month or more, if you want to do more. But we always at least do that month ahead so that we're not in that, especially if I need clients' approval on it, I need to give them that time to do it. So we're not in that constant scramble, right? So work on that and syncing everything up. And then, of course, creating content. Everybody here using Canva or at least something similar to Canva to create their content? Yes, raise your hand. Say yes in chat. Yes, yes, yes. So if you're not, is anybody here not familiar with Canva? Am I speaking to the choir here with Canva? Looks like yes. Any no's? There's like, well, Adobe Express. Yep, there's all right. So whatever tool, Canva, lots of great features there. They have Canva AI in it now. It's a lot of super simple, plenty of holiday templates in there to use. Look up Christmas and Hanukkah and whatever you're celebrating there to make it easy. So to help you to create that content. So definitely, I always say, hey, I don't. They're an Australian companies. I can't own any stock. I don't own any stock or make any money from them, but I say pay for the pro version. It's a whopping $10 or $15 a month, depending on if you do annual or monthly. Lots of more graphics you get in there, a lot more tools that you get on the paid version. You'll find that you'll be frustrated on the free version after a while without the extra stuff that you get on the pro version. Definitely worth more than its weight in gold for what they charge. They should be charging a lot more, but don't tell them that. And then scheduling tool, we're talking social media here, obviously, with Constant Contact as an email tool. Constant Contact as email, you can use it as a social media scheduler as well. You can use text marketing through it, but if you're not using Constant Contact for your social media, you can use a tool, Metricool, Post Planner, Hootsuite, Buffer. There's a bunch of them out there. I've landed on Metricool a couple of years ago, I think it's been. I really like them because I like their reporting tools. That was the one reason I needed to have good reports for my clients. But they make it easy to schedule out ahead. They have every single platform you can think of on here to schedule through. You can evergreen posts, which means you can just say, hey, repeat this one every week. You don't have to keep rescheduling a same post over and over again. So check out Metricool. There is a free version. It doesn't include LinkedIn, I think, or X, but there is a free version to it as well. And the cheapest version, I think, is $18 a month, so not too expensive. So the calendar itself, so it's a Google Sheets calendar. This is one of the tabs on it. It's for social media, email, everything on here. And blogs and etc. you can do on here. And I'm going to add text marketing to it now that we talked about that. So you'll get all the tabs on there. You're going to get a calendar for each month. I'm going to show you each page and how to use it. On the welcome tab, you'll see that on there. If you want to rewatch how to use the calendar, there's a little Zoom video for just this section I'm talking about now. Do not download it as an Excel because you'll lose some of the Google Sheets formatting, especially check boxes that I have on there. So, make a copy and save it as a Google Sheets document. So you'll get hashtag days to use for social media. These are the daily hashtag days, Tech Tuesday, Motivation Monday, etc. You use those for your social media. And then I also include in here a ChatGPT prompt for your content pillars. Now I didn't talk about this in this class, for to keep that in there, but your content pillars are basically your themes of content that you're going to do each week. Now I'm not talking necessarily holiday, specific content, but just your weekly content. So maybe it, and in the 4 buckets of educational, promotional, inspirational, and engaging. So it will give you the themes that you can do each week. It might be each week you do a testimonial, or every week you do an educational post, or every week you do an inspirational quote. Those would be your pillars of content, right? Oops, someone said no. Okay. So you can put this prompt in. Don't worry about the pay and where it says GPT-4. This is an older slide. I didn't update it to 5 at this point. That if you have the paid version, you can put in your website address and it can pull information from your website. If not, you have to kind of feed it information about your business. If you already have prompted ChatGPT about your business, you should be able to just, put it in without that additional information in there. Paste your pillars here. Okay, so get that. And I do explain that. I think the pillars on the Zoom video. And then there's a tab for all the national holidays, quote holidays, in addition to Christmas and New Year's and the traditional holidays. I pulled these from nationaldaycalendar.com, and they are all kind of the fun different holidays that you can add and do content. Social media and email. Some of them could be used for email marketing. For example, like wineries. I don't know if we have any wineries in the room. I have all the winery holidays marked off on that wine column, like National Chardonnay Day, for example. So you could do a social media post about it. You can say, hey, we're running a 3-pack special on Chardonnay for National Chardonnay Day, and send out an email as well. So there might be some that are directly related to your business or industry, like National Logistics Day for my transportation and logistics client, or something that could, be used for that. So you kind of play with those and check those boxes there for the holidays. And then this is the calendar page. Okay, so this is already filled out, of course, for a demo. This is for a skincare brand, a fake skincare brand, not real one. And the calendar is color coded. So you have the red is holidays, the green are events, email campaigns in orange, website blogs in blue or baby blue, LinkedIn articles or newsletters are dark blue. That'll be on the B2B calendar. Social media posts. So if it's just a graphic or a text, it would be purple. Social media stories, so Instagram or Facebook stories in turquoise, and any social media video. So whether it's TikTok, Reels, YouTube videos, etc., it would be in the pink. And I'm going to use that yellow one for text coming on the next calendar. Won't be on the 2025, it'll be on the 26th. So filling it out. So where I start is with social media. So you're going to get the end of the year, right? You're going to get, we're pretty much OND at this point. So for the next 3 months, you can go and check all of the holiday boxes that you want to promote for the next 3 months. What I do at the beginning of the year, when you get the new one in the 2026, if you're on my list, I go through the entire year and I'll check all the boxes off. Now, just so you know, they're not going to automatically pop onto the calendar once you check the boxes. I haven't figured out that magic. I always get asked, does it just show up? You do have to manually add them onto the calendar page, but go through, check all the boxes first for all the holidays. I always will go through at the beginning of each month as I'm planning the next month and just look, did I miss anything and anything change? But I check those boxes first, bring in the holidays. The traditional ones will already be on everybody's calendar. So New Year's Day, MLK Day, Christmas, etc., will already be planted on the calendar for you. But any additional ones. So this example, we're also bringing in International Self-Care Day and National Hyaluronic Acid Day because it is for a skincare brand. So we plug those in first. Any events that you know coming up that you're promoting. So we're going to take place in the Fairfax Farmers Market. anything you want to promote, plant in your events. And then the next thing I'll add in is your hashtag days. If you want to use them, I will put them in for the entire year. So this particular brand, we're using Motivation Monday and Wellness Wednesday. Right now, not for every single month or week, but I will still copy and paste them on the entire year every week. And then if we decide not to use it, we can just eliminate it. Like a couple of weeks here, we didn't use those. So I plant those in first, but then we'll determine what specific content, but at least plant those on the calendar so you have those filled out. And then I would probably put in blogs, like how many, maybe 1 or 2 blogs per month, put those on there. And then you start wanting to fill in the specifics of what you're going to actually do on social media. So for example, on the Wellness Wednesdays, the second line of purple is going to show we're going to do a post. It's going to be all skincare tips on Wellness Wednesday, specifically a vitamin C post or sun protection. So this way, for planning as well as archive purposes, what specifically you need to put together and then what you already did. So you can look back and see, yes, we already did the sun protection post there. So put be specific as you can on there. So, again, for planning or archive purposes. On the Thursdays, we're doing how to use product videos. So we know specific what products we're going to promote on those videos. And on the Wellness Wednesdays, I have to mention, we decided we're going to do both a post and a story. So we cover both because, stories disappear and they have different eyeballs on them. So you can do both or one or the other, doesn't matter on there. Picking out on the motivation or Mondays, and we already talked about Wellness Wednesday, maybe Motivation Monday, we're going to do an aging gracefully quote. So I know to go pull that to create the actual post. So get as specific as possible with those. And then emails, you can see here, we start syncing up our content here with emails in orange, right? Works a little bit differently. So we take everything we have going on here that we want to promote via email, and we work a little backwards. So here we have a January sale for the full month. We have a sale on hyaluronic acid on that national day. We have a farmer's market happening that we're going to be attending, and the contest win a skincare trio, and we have a blog, right? So a lot of things going on. Thank you everybody for coming who's going out. So first thing, the farmer's market. Right. So we know it's on the 13th. So the very last post or email we're going to do is on the 12th, the day before. And then working backwards, we'll go back 4 to 6 weeks or longer if you want, depending on how much time you have before the event. And every week we'll do a post promoting the farmer's market. Okay. So again, working backwards. The January sale, it's only for the month. So the very last post will be the 31st. And then again, working backwards, we'll do one a week up through the first one on the 2nd. Okay, and the other ones are all one-offs, right? So we'll send a blog email. So we're going to post the blog on the website. We're going to do a social media post to promote it. And then we're also going to do an email to promote the blog. Okay. The other ones like the sale, the hyaluronic acid is just a one-time email. And I think that was it. And the skincare trio contest as well. So we're plugging in, we're syncing up with our other content as well on there. And then if you are B2B, I think there might have been some B2B here. The calendar is exactly the same. The color codings, everything. The only additional thing you see here is the LinkedIn newsletter article. So as I'm B2B here, it's marketing. I'll post the blog on my website. I will do a LinkedIn newsletter, and I will promote it on social media to my other channels. And then I also will send it out via email. So I'm hitting them up in all places there. So you can see here, you can use the holidays, you can use hashtag days, all the same stuff. Calendar works exactly the same. Okay. And then you have a page to line up all your content. So I use this page because I have to line it up for my clients. I would say line it up on here. It might seem like an extra step because you're like, well, it doesn't post from here, right? But it's good to have it here for archive purposes. So you can look back here, next January and go, oh, this is what we posted up for National Hyaluronic Acid Day. You don't have to go skimming through your Instagram feed to see what you did. So we lay everything out here. Maybe you have an approval process, maybe you've hired somebody to do your marketing and you want to make sure you look at it before it gets posted up there, can lay it all out here. The captions, the hashtags, the links that we're going to use, the actual image itself. Some clients, linking it to a Canva file, especially if it's a story or a reel. You can't really, insert a video here. So we might just link to the Canva file and they can pop open the Canva image or video or whatever to do it this. You can do that as well. And then you have the columns for edit comments, approval, publish comments as well if you want to use that. So once everything's lined up here for the whole month, and if you don't need an approval process, that's fine. At the end of the month, I take this file on my browser, this Google Sheets, and next to my metrical, and in about an hour, depending on how fast I am, hour and a half, I'll have the whole month scheduled out. Just go down the list and copy paste, upload image, and I'm done. So this makes it easy and there is an upload feature on Metrical. And still figuring like is it really save any time, because I have to do a lot of massaging of the data to get it in correctly. So I'm finding the one at a time just takes up just as much time. So that's laying out your social media. And then for your emails, there's just one email tab. You just lay out all of your emails here if you want to lay them out here. Your topics, this is blog. I said email. So this is blog topics. If you're doing blogs, lay out your topics. We put the actual blog on a Google Docs on a Google Drive, so our clients can go and take a look at it and edit it, and I edit it, and then we actually upload the blog when it's ready. Your images, again, if you need approval process, and then email. So if you're laying out your emails, you can lay everything out here, your topics, your links, your images, your subject line, and your pre-header line as well. So there's one tab for that as well. And that's it as far as the calendar. And I want to share with you, of course, what happens with Constant Contact, of course. And I have, if you want a next couple slides, there are going to be a couple of QR codes, a little gift from Constant Contact on one, and then my contact information. So get your cameras ready. So everything you can do in Constant Contact, as I mentioned before, email marketing, social posting, you can do automations, of course. There's AI tools in there, like everything else out there. Help you with your marketing, text marketing, SMS marketing. You can create landing pages. You can even do social and Google ads through Constant Contact. Event registrations help you grow your list. So not just a email marketing tool. When it started out in 1995, I think when I started using it way back then. So lots of cool things you can do with Constant Contact now. And so, there we go. Next steps for your business. What plan do you need to have in place to take advantage of your holiday sale? So hopefully this class is your step and you're going to get out there and start planning. What support do you need to meet these goals? And do you have time to do it yourself, or do you need help with it? So you are welcome to tap into my expertise, schedule a strategy session on the right, the QR code on the right, or go to callwithpatty.com. My marketing lab group, the LinkedIn group I have, you're welcome to join that. If you join, you are all welcome to shamelessly plug yourself, introduce yourself to the other 1,500 people in the group, share your links, whatever you want. I just say just nothing illegal, but you are welcome to share your business, promote yourself. I answer any marketing questions in there, and you're welcome to ask any questions and connect, network, collaborate, etc. And then a little gift from Constant Contact. So two things: you can do a free trial, so you can sign up for a 3-month trial with this QR code. Or if you want to just sign up for 3 months, you get 30% off those 3 months with that not the QR code, the promotional code, that 330p at the bottom. So that's a little gift from Constant Contact for you if you want to try out Constant Contact. Do we have any Constant Contact users in here already? Raise your hand or say yes in chat. Curious to know. No, there was a Clavio one. So I've pretty much used, not say all of them, but I always say, I've been doing way back to vertical response, Constant Contact, Clavio, SendGrid, Active Campaign, MailChimp, of course. I kind of say they're apples to apples to me. They're just different flavors of apples. For you to pick up a platform, pick one that it has all the tools that you're going to need. It's easy for you to use. They offer customer support. Constant Contact has been known for having good phone support. If you have any questions, you can pick up the phone on there. So if you haven't already picked a tool, there's a lot of great tools out there that do, even just basic email. Use what works for you and what you can grow with, of course. Don't always go by price. You do get a little free trial or 30% off. Don't go by what's the cheapest necessarily, what's going to really work for your business. Given the ROI on email marketing, this isn't where you want to skimp or try to do a lot of workarounds to not try to pay. I like free and cheap, but sometimes costs us more money to have free and cheap. Okay, so I'm going to answer a few questions since we have some time here. What is the name of the website for holiday? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Do you think blog as still a great marketing tool? Yes, definitely it's a great marketing tool. SEO purposes and GEO, as I mentioned, generative engine optimization now, because those AI pulls from websites to pull that information from. So wherever it can find the best answers. So if you have the best answers on blogs, so it helps on that end, on the, say, the technical side of things. Definitely, depending on your business too. Definitely subject matter expert. People are especially like LinkedIn, I'm B2B. So I'm going to put my newsletter on LinkedIn because people are going there for industry insights and a subject matter expertise. So definitely very still relevant. I'm actually working on a blogging webinar coming up soon, probably start in 2026. So good question. Yes, I do recommend using using Canva for a website. To create a website, yes, they do have it there. They don't have shopping yet, I believe. So if you are a shopping site, I had a client that he had used it. Was this a brochure site? They were a flooring company. And she created a Canvas site, but they didn't have a need for a shopping cart on there. So as I call it, like a brochure site. But easy to, create a site on there and you can connect it to your domain and stuff, but there are some limitations to it there, like the shopping thing. Do third-party scheduled posts get as much visibility? I always get that question. Everybody says that they don't like it. It doesn't make a difference. It's really the content and the algorithms that are played, but they don't look at it like, oh, well, okay, they know we're using third-party schedulers. That's not a secret. It's not a bad thing. You could go to Facebook and use Meta to schedule out your posts as well for Facebook and Instagram, but it doesn't make a difference as far as how you post it. It's really the content that gets posted, when and how and all of that stuff. What digital business card app do I use? I think Veronica shared it. Hi Hello. So hi hello dot, I don't know, was it .com, .me or something like that. I like it because I can create multiple cards and I can go on my desktop with it and I can use the QR code. I think the QR code that I just showed on mine is I don't know if it's hi hello one or just going straight to my calendar link. And it saves information and people can find you on it. So little plug for hi hello. Yes, you mapped out the whole year holidays. Yeah, so when you go back, let me see if I can go back to the page here. One quick second. There we go. There we go. Went too far. So all of these pages, right? Each month has a tab of these holidays. So what I do is for each month, I will go and just check those boxes. So I'm going to do National Spaghetti Day here and New Year's Day and maybe National Bobblehead Day, whatever, whichever ones you choose, and just mark them off for the whole year. That's what I meant by the whole year. And if you're beginning of the month or beginning of the year, so when you get 2026 for me, go January through December of next year and check all the boxes. And then again, I still go and review it at the beginning of each month as I'm planning out the next month's calendar to see if I missed anything on there. So that's what I meant. And plan as far ahead as you can. I mean, even the content itself, just I see people are not planning at all. They're like, oh, what do I post tomorrow? I'll think of it today, right? Fly by the seat of your pants marketing, right? So get as far ahead as you can. Work with those content pillars. So what I do, I think I had the picture on there. There it is. So like these Marketing Monday tips, these were quotes. So I went and found, this was, I didn't do them this year. I did marketing tips this year. So at the beginning of the year, I found, I did two, yeah. So that year I did two per week. So I had 104, right, of them. So for every week and bulk created them in Canva and I scheduled them all out for the entire year. So I had those planned. My marketing, yeah, I did Marketing Monday. I had all the quotes and you can see on here where I put quote 23, 24, 25. Those were the numbers of the Canva graphic. That was when I bulk created them. So I didn't have to put the specific quote there. But I just put the number of the actual graphic on there that matched up with the quote. So that's where you can start planning ahead on some of the content and, get bulk create content if you can. So there's so many more tools out there to help with that. Still work because you got to think about what you want to create, what you need to promote and get it out there. I mean, that's what I do for my clients. So I don't have to, like the one that said, well, we want to spend minimal time on it. Well, I totally understand that. That's why my clients bring me in. They don't want to spend time on it either. But do as if you're doing it yourself, do as much as you can ahead. There's definitely tools for that now. Let me just go forward. I'm going to answer any more questions. Do you have a list of apps and tools you consider best, which you could give us? I'm just going to scan here real quick. There we go. Yeah, I don't have a list. I've been meaning to put one on my website. So I did mention a couple of the, obviously Canva and Metrical and stuff. I'll put together a list, but they're definitely there are great tools. A lot of them are out there. I said, you have to see what works best for you. What might work for me might not work for you. So, but if you have any questions, you can always ask. That's something I would definitely share if we do a strategy session as well. So going back to the addiction treatment counseling, I don't know if you're still here. Any ideas for getting more? I don't know if you're talking about during the holidays. I was trying to that might be January, it's dry January. Is that a time when people, I don't know. I'm not trying to joke about it, but I don't know what the cyclical times are there certain times a year that treatment counseling centers are busier than others? I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting question. I'm trying to think off the cuff how to get more clients. Where would you find them? And it could be a little bit of I always look at things holistically. So I would say you're going to look at SEO, SEO, GEO now. So say both of them now. Somebody's searching, like either they or somebody they love is dealing with an addiction and they're looking for treatment centers and they're going to go to Google. It's an immediate intent. So I would say that would be a big thing to look at because that probably is very highly searched. On the brand awareness side, social media potentially. So it might be not the person that is in the addiction, but maybe their friends or family looking for that. So I would say on both sides of those. Some business, I would say maybe heavily more on the SEO side of things than the brand awareness things. Right. So, yeah, so that's just like quick answer without digging any deeper with you. But if you wanted to schedule time to talk, you can scan this QR code here. Good question, though. Blogs versus podcasts versus webinars versus group counseling. Which do you recommend is best for getting information out there and exposure to hopefully attract paying counseling clients? Is that the same addiction center counseling? Let's asking that question because both of them were anonymous. Yeah, say so. Is that paying? It says paying counseling clients. I would say a little bit of each. Like I said, being holistically, and I didn't throw blogs in the mix, but that would kind of fall under SEO as well. So anything you have around the topics of, and again, I'm guessing you're the same one. You want to put in the chat, is that the same? Um, so whatever the topic is for the counseling, whatever you can put out there as far as content that people are searching for, looking for answers, again, on the SEO side of things, and then just on the brand awareness side of things, blogs. I mean, podcasts it just depends on your market. I would have to know more about who's your audience. What's a typical age range, group? Where would you find your particular audience in particular? You might, if it's an older audience, maybe not podcasts, maybe not, don't go to TikTok, for example. So, just kind of overall general answer, first understanding who the audience is and, would my, well, my 85-year-old father wouldn't do most of these things, but say somebody who's a little bit older, would they, go Google something versus go listen to a blog or listen to a podcast or read a blog, or would they, talk to friends and family, so you really have to understand the age group and where they hang out and find that information. So good questions. And I think, is that it, Veronica? I don't think there's any
Oh,
in this
no, there was
chat.
just one in the chat. The question was, what will be the best way to create a mobile app?
Um, Good question. I don't know if there are any. I have a friend colleague who creates mobile apps, but I don't know if there's something online So I'm not familiar. I've built websites in the past, but I've never built mobile apps. So if does anybody know any, or you can reach out to me and I can connect you with somebody who does mobile apps. But make sure it's something that makes sense for your business too before you spend the time and money to develop a mobile app. I mean, as long as your website is responsive, meaning it's built to be mobile friendly and you don't have to like pinch it and move it around, that it shrinks down. That's what responsive is. Sometimes you don't need to have a mobile app. It just depends on what it is, unless you have to have some
Okay.
app type features. Common mistakes people make when marketing holidays or anytime, not doing it soon enough, not doing enough. I would say that's it, right? If you are corporate, if you want corporate sales, corporate, just based on my gift basket experience, corporate people, and again, we're in different times right now. I'll just keep it at that. We're starting early, but corporate sales generally in normal times, September, October, they start looking at corporate. They're especially larger orders. They'll still order a little bit later. So you do want to really be prepared by that July, August if you're hitting corporate gifting as well. And being consistent through the whole season. Don't just wait until, Cyber Monday or Black Friday or whatever, and then, hit it. Email marketing, don't be afraid to hit people up more than you think, right? Weekly basis. And then during this time of year, pump it up a couple times a week. Hit people at different times, try different subject lines, but you want to make sure that we're going to be looking at a lot of stuff coming our way, and they might miss that one email that you send out. So I would say, consistency and frequency are probably the common mistakes. So good question. Let's see, anything else? I think, please send, yeah, you'll get the replay. And
Mhm.
I think that's it. So, in any questions,
Yeah.
definitely reach out to me, go to the Marketing Lab group and join, ask questions there, or schedule a session with me and love to help. Yes, and shared hihello.com. There you go. Thank you, everyone.
So with that, I just want to, I never know how to do a virtual round of applause, but thank you, Patty, for that great presentation. I know that the attendees took a lot, especially um, planning if they haven't already for next year. So that's always good. They have to start in August for the holiday season. That's always good to know. And just so everyone also knows, this is also part of an eight-part series. So the seventh part is in 3 weeks, October 9th, Thursday at the same time. So we love to see you back here if you could join us next time. And just to reiterate, because there's a lot of questions about, of course, we'll be sending everyone the recording and the materials for today's presentation. Follow up soon. It does take some time for Zoom to process the recording, but you were definitely a wonderful audience. Thank you for such a lively participation. We love that. We love to have like an active, engaged audience. So thank you for sharing and for, helping us through that technical issue we had. Where you guys really were patient and no one left, so we appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we will see you in 3 weeks. So see you then.
See you then, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Rest of your day.